Masters, Professor Yu, and all my distinguished guests, welcome to join us tonight. I would like to express gratitude on behalf of Dharma Master Zheng Yan for our Zen Master Tina Han and Professor Yu can join us tonight and have visit Tzu Chi as being second times. I believe it's about more than 10 years ago when you visit Hualien to see Master Zheng Yan. It's a very good occasion for both Grandmaster can exchange their feeling on the engaged Buddhism or prior Buddhism. Very unfortunately, Master Zheng Yan cannot come over today, and she would like to express her deeply gratitude for your coming and visiting. And also, I have to thank you, Professor Yu, by your introducing so that we have a chance to listen to the teaching of Zen Masters. And I believe it is a very special occasion, and we all share with the same value and same concepts of engaged Buddhism or applied Buddhism. And Master Zheng Yan always, bring us to contact the suffering person and provide love to them selflessly. So through that action, through that altruistic action, we can purify our mind. We can be mindfulness. And then we can start to change our bad behavior or bad karma. And also, we have to learn from the others. So the community is very important. The environment is very important. All environment, all people, good people surround you. You can see through them and see yourself. You can reflect your weakness, reflect complexity, reflect your greed. So the community is very important for the Buddhists to practice Buddha's teaching. So the compassion and selfless giving is a very important teaching from Buddha as well as from Master Zheng Yan. So Master, how you interpret the compassion and how you, bring people to see the greatness of selfless giving, that could be bring us to reach that kind of the present and the calm status.
I myself have been engaged in social service during the time of the war in Vietnam. We organized teams of monastics and lay people to go out and help with victims of the war. We set up refugee centers. We help people with education, with health, with housing and things like that. We have set up a school to train social workers. We had more than 10,000 social workers working in the context of war. We also have gone out to the ocean in order to help save boat people who are drowning. We organize so that we can take care of orphans, hundreds of thousands of them, as the victims of war. So we have done a lot of charity, compassionate work. But our approach is that if we do not have enough peace and happiness in ourselves, we cannot go very far. And that is why the practice of mindfulness, the practice in the heart of a Sangha, a community, is very crucial. Each social worker, whether she is a monastic or lay person, has to take up the practice of mindfulness and preserve the practice alive during the whole time of working. And if you are not, you cannot be compassionate to yourself. If you do not know how to take care of yourself, how can you effectively take care of another person? That is why the Buddhist teaching on love, compassion has to direct it to yourself first. And if you have some progress in yourself, it's time for you to reach out and help other people. That is why social workers, volunteers have to take good care of themselves, have to learn how to release the tension, how to listen to the suffering, how to reconcile with their beloved one, in order for their work to have a meaning. Otherwise, that is to forget our own suffering. Social work as a means to cover up our suffering, that is not truly social work. It's not motivated by compassion. That is why our social workers, whether they are monastic or lay, has to practice in order to reconcile with people in their own family, in their own communities, in order to be able to be sent to the areas where they have to, they will have a chance to serve. And again, right view is very important. Right view is the absence of discrimination. You all know that the basic teaching of the Buddha is no self, the teaching of no self. There is no separate self. If we look into ourselves deeply with mindfulness and concentration, we get the insight that we are only made of non-us elements. Elements like a father, mother, ancestors, education, food. If we remove all these elements out of us, there is no us. So a self is only made of non-self elements. This is very important. When you look into a flower, you see the flower is made of the earth, the sunshine, the water, the farmer. And you can touch, when you touch deeply a flower with mindfulness, you touch the cloud that has made the water to allow the flower to grow. So everything is in the flower. All the cosmos can be found in one flower. That is the Buddhist teaching. A flower does not have a separate existence. That is the teaching of non-self. And that is right view. And social work, charity work should be based on that, on that teaching. It's like my two hands. My two hands, they have the wisdom of non-discrimination. They don't fight each other. They are always in harmony. My right hand, she can do a lot of things. She can do calligraphy. She can play the drum, the bell. She can write poems. But my right hand is free from the complex of superiority. It never tells my left hand, you left hand, you are good for nothing. All the poems of Thai I have written by myself. It has never had that kind of thinking, because there is the wisdom of non-discrimination in it. And my left hand does not suffer of the complex of inferiority at all. That is why it has been collaborated with my hands in a perfect way. No complex, whether that is the complex of superiority or inferiority or even equality. One day I was driving a nail in order to hang a picture, and my right hand was holding a hammer, and my left hand a nail. But I was not very skillful that morning. Instead of pounding on the nail, I pound on the finger. They were suffering. Right away, my right hand put down the hammer and take good care of my left hand, without any asking for by the help from the left hand. It takes care of the left hand as if it takes care of itself. There is no helper. There is no one who is helping. There is no one who is being helped. They are together. So that is the teaching of Buddha on non-duality, non-discrimination. So if you are a true volunteer working in the charity movement, you should see that the person you are helping is yourself. And with that you don't suffer anymore from jealousy, from discrimination, and you are a bodhisattva in your work. And I think the Buddhist teaching is very crucial in helping us to maintain alive our compassion, our willingness to serve. And while working and helping people, we have to continue to nourish our joy, our happiness, our compassion, in order for us to continue for a long time. That is what we think of social work.
Master teaching is very crucial, that if we cannot have a mindfulness or pure mind, that we cannot be a good volunteer or good social worker. So that's why Master Cheng Yen always emphasizes on precept and love. He said, managing by love and construct system based on precepts. So all the Tzu Chi volunteers, they comply with the 10 commandments, 10 precepts. In order to support the others, you have to be really follow the discipline, purify yourself, so that you can carry on all the duty, all the relief to the others. So that Master always say, educate rich to support the poor, but support the poor, educate them to have a richer mind. So you see, we have to support love to all countries, disregard their nations, ethnic, religious background. We love them all. But we make everyone can love everyone. That people in South Africa, they're recipient before. Now they can support their own community, become a volunteer of Tzu Chi. People in Haiti, they run into the earthquake. We support them, now they can support themselves. They can be a volunteer to provide love to the others. But Master also emphasized her teacher's teaching for Buddhism and for people. If you want for people, you have to for Buddhism. You pass on Buddhism teaching so that you can continually support the others, continually contribute to people. But for the Buddhism, you have to for the people. You cannot be only purify yourself but disregard the society is painful. So that's very important. Internally, you have to comply with the Buddhism precept. But externally, you provide the selfless giving to the others. That's called compassion. And eventually, you have to employ love to respond to hatred. Like people in Indonesia, they have against Chinese ethnic back to 1998. At that moment, Master Cheng Yen asked them to employ love to respond to those hatred. They continue to carry those relief to Indonesian people. So the conflict within ethnic being reconciled in these days. So that's the three love. Love everyone, make everyone can love, employ love to respond to hatred. And that's also the teaching of equal love from Buddha. And that's also, I learned from your teaching, the equal love to everyone, and comply with the precept so that you can contribute to the society and to the people eternally. I would like to have Jen Master to have a couple minutes to conclude this dialogue and this spiritual encountering.
The precepts, the practice of the precepts should be able to bring us transformation and healing. And precepts, the practice of precepts bring about more understanding and more compassion and more freedom. Many people think that practicing the precepts, you narrow your freedom, and that is not correct. It increases your freedom. For instance, if you are addicted to alcohol or drugs, you lose your freedom. And that is why not to drink alcohol, not to use drugs, preserve your freedom. And if we practice 5 precepts deeply, we are able to promote our understanding. We can transform our anger, our fear, our despair, because understanding brings always love. And the precepts do not just purify you. It helps you to transform fear, anger, and despair in you. And when compassion is in you, it wants to express itself in the form of action. So one person who is truly compassionate always wants to do something, to be something in order to help transform the world. We have a new version of the 5 precepts produced in Plum Village after so many years of practicing together. This version of a new version of the 5 precepts represent the Buddhist insight of non-duality, non-self, non-discrimination, and it presents very concrete ways to practice so that we can nourish our true happiness and our love. So the 5 precepts are to cultivate understanding and love, which is the foundation of all happiness. And the world needs a global ethics. And the new version of the 5 precepts that we have offered represent the Buddhist vision of a world ethics, and everyone can practice, not just the Buddhist. And I think it should be the basic practice of the individual. It should be the basic practice for the family life. It is the basic practice of a community, of a nation. If a whole nation take up the practice of the 5 precepts, that nation will have peace, unity, brotherhood, sisterhood, and that nation can help other nations also. So the difficulties that we encounter in our time, so many catastrophes, so many conflicts, and much suffering, that is because the collective karma we have together live in a way that mindfulness is rare, is not possible. That is why we have created this world full of suffering. And only when we help people to wake up to the fact that without practicing together, we have no chance to save our planet. And that is why collective awakening is what we need in order for a future to be possible for our children. And awakening is not just an idea or a hope. The practice of the 5 precepts in its new version is embodied truly the new collective awakening. And it's my conviction that if the Buddhists practice them well, they will be able to help and inspire non-Buddhists to practice the same. Because in big spiritual traditions, there are elements of the same kind of wisdom. And if they learn about our 5 precepts, they can go back and recognize the equivalent in their own tradition. And if we practice together like that, we will bring about a collective awakening so that our earth will have a chance, and we can leave a future for our children and their children. Thank you.
I believe that the freedom, according to Zen Master's teaching, is very true. That freedom is not the right to have a free choice. It's free from the greed, free from temptation, free from anger, free from hatred, so that our spirit and mind can be free, by away from those internal limitations. So that's the precept can useful for that kind of freedom. The precept is a path, to the freedom of our spirit. And also, we're talking about selfless. You talk about selfless, the more you embrace the others, the more you reach the selfless. The more you join collective compassion, as the Zen Master teaches us, that the more you can be selfless. All suffering comes from self. We have self, so we have suffering. So we have jealousy. So we have want to attack others, want to deprive the others' right. If we can be selfless, so that we can love each other, that a flower or a tree, a grass, can be all together. We have no differentiation from you and the others. So everyone merged together. So the collective compassion, as the masters emphasize, is a very important teaching nowadays for all human beings. The more we join the collective compassion, the more we reach the selfless. The more we have selfless, the world can be more harmonized than ever. I believe that's the great teaching of Buddha, great teaching of Zen Master, and also the teaching from my master, Master Zheng Yan. So thank you that today's the teaching of Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh has been completed. And thank you for your attendance, and thank you for you all. Thank you.
夜阑长风灿烂，银河繁星点点，四时昼夜循环，发心天地人间，春冬寒林多样，同生同息同眠，缘起缘灭无常。风平不起波澜，荆棘法界充满，一心圆明自然。